New Reddit stocks to watch according to Bank of America. So now Bank of America is putting on a meme stocks watch list. I found this hilarious. I was reading this on CNBC this morning. AMC obviously at the top of the list. So what they're doing is they're compiling a list based on the number of mentions on Reddit as well as the short interests. GameStop, among other stocks that you're. Are you watching any of these stocks yourself? Do you have like a similar list that you've compiled?
Yeah, absolutely, right. So the key is that as a shorter term trader, I'm always keeping an eye on anything in motion like an AMC or a BlackBerry. Those type of stocks you do want to keep an eye on because they're the ones that are going to give you the trading opportunities. There's no doubt about it.
Okay, let's take a look at this chart now. AMC spiked up from about $10 2 weeks ago all the way to above $60, and then it's down 22%. Well, 20% now, 21. It's moving a lot. It's moving right now as we speak. So the news this morning, Thursday, was that AMC has announced it would sell 11.5 million shares to raise funds for various projects. That contributed to the sell-off. But you told me you were positioned for the short already. Now, were you impacted by this news, or did you just look at this chart and think to yourself, this is crazy, let's short it? What was going on through your mind?
Yeah, so yesterday, as it was climbing, I was basically dipping a toe in the water at a time with our traders here. So, again, you never know how high these things are going to go. What you do have is a little bit on the technical side. We had a time count on the chart. So that was a little indication that you were probably reaching exhaustion. And yesterday, when it was trading up in multiple dollar integers every minute or so, that's also kind of that euphoria maximum that you look for. But I mean, to be clear, my average price was around the 57 and change range. And this morning pre-market at one point, it was like at 78 plus. So it's not like I timed it perfectly or anything like that. And as a trader, you never want to assume you're going to time anything perfectly. What I do is I just take a small share size and then I allow myself lots of room to maneuver by adding additional shares. And then I make sure when I see a stock like AMC, I say, okay, even if I end up with a few thousand shares, that's not a big position to me and I can weather the craziness. Because I don't think I'm sure there are people that think it will keep going up, but I think common sense tells you at some point at least it will have a pullback. And that's what we were basically positioning ourselves for today.
Okay. All right. Well, common sense has served you well in the past. It served you well today. Gareth, can you pull up that chart one more time? I'd like to ask you why you think it's run up from $10 all the way to 65. I've been reading various things. Dogecoin we'll talk about later. There was a definitive story around there. But what was going on with AMC? Why have we seen a resurgence of this the shorts with this seemingly what it looks like a short squeeze? It's a flashback of February all over again. But anyway, yeah, I'll let you do
February to the millionth degree with AMC because it went so much higher. But this is so fascinating. So basically you have a scenario where cryptocurrencies over the last month topped out, and then you saw this big drop on Bitcoin, big drop on Ether, even Dogecoin, which was at 1.75 cents, back to the 30 to 40 cent range. And my guess is that you had a lot of average investor money in crypto. And what they were saying or what they were thinking is, okay, crypto's pulling back. It looks dead for the time being. I'm going to pull money out of the crypto market. And then let's focus in on these stocks. These are the ones that ran before. They have high short positions again. And let's squeeze them again. So my guess is you had the craziness in crypto, which attracted a lot of money, which is why AMC was quiet for so long, GameStop relatively quiet. And now the money flow is coming back. And we're seeing this more and more where money is not just rotating from stock to stock, it's rotating from market to market as transportation of money becomes easier. You just basically do a quick ACH from your crypto account to your stock trading account. Boom, your money's there. You can trade it, you get leverage and all of that fun stuff. So I think that's really what happened here with these meme stocks over the last week or so.
Interesting. Let's look forward now, Gareth, because last time what happened when we had a big spike was that it dipped for a bit and then it continued spiking. I think one of the reasons is the fact that the institutional investors who were shorting it, they kind of folded right away on that big rally. It doesn't seem to be the case this time around. A friend of mine pointed this out to me. Let's take a look at the put to call ratios for institutional investors. It's still at 0.93. very high short interest from the institutions on the short side. And get a load of this, Gareth. If there's only, I find this interesting. So there's only about 850,000 shares available to be shorted for AMC. But at the same time, if you take a look at AMC's float, it's got a shares outstanding of 450 million and 417 million in its float. So not a lot of shares left to be shorted. Institutions are positioned on the put side. Putting all this together, do you think the institutions will have a better chance of driving the stock down this time around?
Yeah, they certainly aren't as freaked out by it. Maybe because they've seen it again. They saw it prior with GameStop, months ago and so forth. I think one of the keys here is that you have to recognize, so if you look at GameStop, for instance, GameStop is not, it hasn't had the same type of meteoric run. And I can quickly bring up that chart for you guys here. So you can see this is the weekly chart of GameStop, but you can see here's your meteoric run on the weekly, and then you pulled back, you had another pop, and you've kind of consolidated here. On AMC, it's much different. And if you ask me, the difference here with why this stock has gone parabolic, but the institutions have not given up on their shorts, is because you have to look at how many more shares are in the company's float than there were years ago. So on the weekly chart, and this is another fascinating thing that most average investors don't realize, but back in 2015 and 2016, the stock got as high as $35 a share. At that point, when it was at $35 a share, there were about 100 million shares outstanding. Now, when you've seen this stock go up to $70 in recent days, there's now 400 million plus. So to do the math here, you would have had to see AMC trading at basically $280 a share to make it equal to the price spike back in 2015 and 2016. And if we were thinking about it, right, if you look and say, wow, AMC's at $250 or $300 a share, that's ludicrous. But again, average investors aren't realizing that. There's so many more shares. GameStop didn't do that. GameStop really didn't issue a lot of new shares over the course of the last year or so. And I think that's an issue with why you're seeing the institutions willing to hold on here, because they know that the float is so big. The market cap has no reason to be up here at these levels, and it ultimately should come in.
Okay, so how are you positioned now? So you had shorted. Did you close your position, or?
Yeah, so we closed that position today. I did it in basically different segments. So initially, when I had my position short and it was going as crazy as it was, I was definitely on the nervous side, seeing how high it was pre-market. So I basically, and these are the trades from today. I made $2 on the downside, and I took half off the table. It then popped up again, and I re-shorted that same half position, getting to a full position. It then dropped $2 again. I took that same $2 profit, and then the last portion, the last half, I made $11 on the way down, and I covered it for an $11 gain. So I'm not trying to be a hero. I think this is going to go back to $20 ultimately, but I'm not trying to be a hero and say I'm going to hold, for that big move to the downside.